Good evening and welcome back to the channel. This video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research, make your own decisions. Okay, guys, I reiterate everything I've said in my previous few videos about everything happening with the market right now. But for this video, I got asked a good question that I want to answer, and it does relate to what's happening right now with the market. So I know a lot of people do TA. I know a lot of people do on-chain. A lot of people do look at charts all day, and they're giving you their analysis of that particular asset based on the chart. Now, for the most part, when they're telling you their analysis of that asset, they're telling you that based on the chart, all right? So, and more times than not, this is over a 3 to 6 month time frame, okay? So, what are the issues with this? Well, when you're looking at you're investing in these assets and you're looking at the entire picture that you need to look at to make informed decisions about whether you're allocating more resources, whether you're just holding, whether you're selling, so on and so forth. I look at it like there's a pie graph, right? And each portion of the pie graph has its own, the size of each portion is dependent on the importance of that particular, whatever it is. TA being one portion, on-chain being one portion, but the largest portion of that pie graph, by far, no close second, is this is the new internet and financial system, okay? Because there can be two graphs that look the exact same. Ethereum's graph could look exactly the same as some S&P 500 company that's essentially a zombie company at this point. Think about what I just said. That's a reality, okay? There could be a company in the S&P 500. They're legit a zombie company. They're a dead man walking, okay? They're only going to survive so long that interest rates stay near zero. And if interest rates were to go up to 4 or 5%, they would go bankrupt. Now, over a 6 to 12 month time period, their graph could look identical to Ethereum's. And if you're listening to somebody who's doing TA, they're going to do the technical analysis on both of those graphs and give you the same take. This is where we are. Doesn't look that great. Don't know about this. So what's the problem with that? Okay, the problem with that is that, again, if you're looking and you're trying to make informed decisions, you have to look at a number of different things. And what this is supersedes anything else, period, end of story. Now, that doesn't mean that you just blindly, should be buying or whatever. You should do whatever you want to do, okay? But I don't do that. I do look at TA, right? Because I want to know what type of patterns we're forming. I want to know if it looks like we're going to take another leg down based on what's happening on the charts, based on what's happening with open interest skyrocketing out of nowhere. I pay attention to all of these different things, all right? That's why I used to do a lot of videos. I did a number of different videos, like doing updates. Guys, open interest is spiked. Be prepared for anything. There's going to be a lot of liquidations. There's going to be a lot of volatility. But when I'm looking at this, the most important thing, by far, no close second, this is the new internet and financial system. Now, the second most important thing is this is the new internet and financial system. The third most important thing, this is the new internet and financial system. And those are the first 5 most important things. Now, at number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you get into technical analysis. You get into on-chain. You get into what's happening in the industry. Is it growing? Is it shrinking? What's going on with institutional adoption? Where are we seeing this as far as the corporate partnerships that are developing? What does that look like? Is it growing? Is it shrinking? As far as the financial institutions, the big billionaire investors, is that expanding? Is it contracting? What's going on with that? All right. Now, another part of this, the piece of the puzzle here would be, how do I feel about this asset relative to other assets? All right, because I'm going to look at the whole picture here, and I'm going to compare that to maybe that company that's in the S&P 500 that's technically a zombie company, but they have the exact same chart as Ethereum. So if you're listening to a TA person and they're just giving you their sole take based on TA, they're going to give you the exact same take based on a zombie company that they would on Ethereum if they have a similar chart and a similar pattern, and they very easily could. because that's the degree of price discovery that we have right now in any financial markets. All of these markets are 100% manipulated. And I could make my case for that. I'll debate anybody on that, seriously. If you want it, let me know, okay? We can set up a time, all right? Because the reality that these markets are manipulated is such an easy position to argue from. There's so much factual information to back up that statement that I would welcome the opportunity to, if somebody really wants to make the case that there's real price discovery happening in any single asset right now. Okay, I'm getting off on a tangent. So again, when I'm looking at this, the most important part is what this is, because two charts can look the exact same. I'm going to word this differently. Two different charts can look the exact same, but the asset, the company, the value proposition, the future, everything could be drastically different, asset to asset, but the chart looks the exact same. So what's the point that I'm trying to make is that TA is a portion of the entire picture. And for me, it's not a very big portion. I don't disregard it. I'm not one of these people that say TA is completely worthless, but am I making life investment decisions based on this? No. And the last thing I'll say, guys, is beware. Okay, how about this? It's too risky for you to be investing in crypto right now, all right? Just understand it's too risky for retail to be investing in crypto right now. That being said, whale holdings have been going up significantly over the last few weeks. So it's not too risky for the whales, but it's too risky for you retail investors, all right? For you little plebs that don't know anything about anything, right? For the dumb money, it's too risky for y'all, all right? Now, the billionaires and the big whales, it looks like they're in accumulation mode based on the on-chain data. But forget about that, okay? They're probably just buying to make it look like, you know, I don't even know what you would say to counter that position. But the point that I'm making is the fact that people are telling others, broadcasting it out, it's way too risky for y'all to be getting in the market or to doing anything in the market right now while whale holdings are going up, while supply of Bitcoin and Ethereum have been going down for 2 years. It's kind of shocking to me. Why is the supply of Bitcoin going down? Why is the supply of Ethereum going down? Why is the supply of whale holdings going up? Because large hands have been accumulating. Net accumulating. That's a fact. That is a fact. And people discount supply on exchanges, and it's to their own ignorance. I don't know of a better metric you could look at to really gauge supply and demand. If there wasn't much demand, if there was no demand, and people were like, all right, I'm getting out, the supply goes both ways, guys. If there's more people bringing Bitcoin and Ethereum back on exchanges to sell, supply is going to trick up. If there's more people buying Bitcoin and taking it off exchanges, supply is going to go down. It shows both. Okay? It's not a graph that goes one way or that only shows one metric. It shows on both ends. It's net. So it just blows me away that I hear some of the things that I hear. I'm not talking to any of you. I'm talking about content creators, all right? So the last thing that I'm going to say is be very, very cautious of people who are pushing any type of what could be considered fear messaging. And guys, listen, some of it is just realistic. Hey guys, things don't look great right now, all right? We could go lower. But if they're pushing what looks to be fear messaging, but they're not telling you, guys, anybody that's not telling you they cover the space for a living and they're not telling you, looking you dead in the camera and telling you this is the new financial system and the new internet, you should be cautious. Because it is. And how do you cover this space but never mention that? Think about that. How do you cover this space but you never mention that? And I'm not saying that you've mentioned Web3 once or twice in passing. It's not one of those things that is said nonchalantly just in passing, okay? It's the most important thing. It's the 5 most important things. And everything else falls way, 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 way below that. Now, think about this. Think about back 10 years ago with Amazon. Amazon had a lot of crazy volatility. Now, if YouTube was as prevalent back then as it is now, I guarantee you we could go back and we could look at people doing technical analysis on Amazon, and they were saying, yeah, this doesn't look good. We're in this is a bearish forming pattern. This is head and shoulders. We got a red dot, we got a death cross, we got a skull cross, right? It's the holy trinity of bearishness, and so this is no good right now, okay? It's all bad. You don't want anything to do with this. Now the graph may have showed that, but what does that exclude? All the other parts of the picture that I went over earlier in the video. And there's many other ones too. I'm just giving you some examples. But this goes back to my original point. In certain scenarios, the opportunity, the asset, supersedes most everything else. That doesn't mean that I blindly just buy without any comprehension of what's happening with the price movement, because I don't want to go about this I'm a fan of math, okay? And so I understand that I want to continually push my cost average down. Guys, if you remember back when we had that run up to 69K, I pulled back for several weeks and didn't really make many purchases at all. Right? I really don't buy. I mean, on very few occasions, less than 5% of the time, I don't buy when it's even up a few percent. I try to always buy red, always. So I'm not saying that it's just blind, just, as much accumulation as possible. And guys, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm just giving you my opinion, my thought process, my strategy. All right, guys, you can get out of the market today and do whatever it is that you decide to do. It doesn't, I'm only giving you my perspective. But when just understand, guys, if people aren't telling you what this is, and they're not being very deliberate and direct with you, like, hey guys, listen, this is the chart. It doesn't look great right now. We might go lower. That being said, at the end of the day, guys, adoption has exploded over the last year. And if you want to look at the supply is continually going down. So somebody is buying, regardless of what's happening with this chart right now. People have to be buying because supply has been steadily going down for the last 2 years, and that just hasn't stopped despite what's happening with the price action. So given that, and given that this is the new internet, yes, it could go lower. That being said, when put into context with everything else, it is what it is, guys. Things don't go up forever, but, understand that this is just one component to the bigger picture. You have to look at everything else. But they don't say that, right? This looks really bad. This is a really bad time. This is really risky. We might go lower. This is right. We're gonna break this level, and then if we break this level, we're gonna break that level, and then if we go to this level, we're gonna down here, and it's just constant, nonstop fear messaging. But I'm just going to end with this. The most important thing about this entire conversation never gets mentioned, and that is this is the new internet and financial system. There's never going to be another time like this in your life. That doesn't mean, I'm not telling you to go out and just buy as much as you possibly can. Okay, I'm not telling you that. I'm providing an alternative point of view from the mainstream because they won't tell you many of the things that I've mentioned in this video and many of the things that I continually mention over the last year. And I'm not the only one, guys. There's a lot of other people doing it too, but for the most part, it's smaller content creators. The large content creators are not going to tell you the truth about what this is. And so I'm telling you, you should have a certain level of suspicion around their content, especially in times of mass fear. How in the hell does somebody cover something like this for a living? It is their job. They do this Guys, I'm just doing this. I just wanted to sound the alarms. I just wanted to let people know. I make $0 on here. Okay, I have no ad revenue. I was monetized for 3 weeks. All right, I've done no sponsored videos. And that's it. I've taken no donations. I've even been offered a few different times. I said, no, I'm not comfortable doing that. So, but these people who do this for a living, this is their job. They're on here every single day. If they're not regularly telling you how big this is, that this is the new internet, and it's not my opinion, guys. The reason I keep repeating it over and over and over again is that I want it to sink into your skull, that you understand what this is. When was the last time they implemented a new internet out in the open and financials, and they switched out the whole financial system, introduced a new asset class? When was the last time they did that and gave you the opportunity to invest in it? You think you're going to have another opportunity like this? Honest question. Not telling you to go crazy and go do whatever. But this is much bigger than you, than me, than the US government, than all of these dumb schmucks on YouTube. I'm not referring to anybody specifically. But this is way, way, way bigger than any influencer, any analyst, any specialist, any government, anybody. This is hands down the biggest thing happening in the world. And everybody that, guys, why do you think all this other crazy shit is happening? I mean, seriously. Why do you think the world got turned upside down? Do you think that it's all a coincidence that all these crazy things are happening? That all fiat currencies are inflating? Oh, gas is starting to go parabolic. How about that, guys? Gas is starting to go parabolic again. I just went to the grocery store. We are running a little bit short at our grocery store here. I don't know what it's like at your grocery stores. Why do you think all these things are happening, guys? I mean, you don't have to wonder, because they've told you we're abandoning the old system and we're implementing the new system. So you make your own decisions, do your own research. I am here solely to counter many of the narratives that get pushed out by the large YouTubers. Because when I started watching them, I said, either I'm wrong, or they don't know what they're talking about, or they're lying, or something's going on here. Because from day one, I said this is going to be the biggest thing ever. And they're going to start implementing it right now. And I said that a year ago when fear was at all-time highs. Go back to a year. Go back to when we crashed down to 30K from 64. And go watch some of the content creators back then and the level of fear that was being pushed. It's over. No, forget about it. It's done. Get out of here, so on and so forth. And I had been in for a week. I hadn't had enough time to look at all these different technologies to even understand what they're doing. But just solely from working in tech myself and looking into a couple different things, I said, oh shit, this is about to start right now. This is what's really going on. This is the thing that everybody else is being distracted from. And it was so crystal clear. And so after I said that a year ago, that's exactly what happened. There was a few corporations in last year when I came out and made that video, and now they're all in. So my conviction couldn't be higher, because I said, that's going to happen. This is what's going on. And then it happened. Now, price did not reflect that, which I expected it to. I think most people expected it to. I was 100%. I'm going to be wrong more times than not if I ever say any type of short-term price action call. Okay, I kind of just do it jokingly at this point, time to time, but I'm probably going to be wrong in most of those scenarios. All right, now everything outside of that, what this is, how this works together, which certain technologies are going to be as essential as any to the bigger picture here, I feel like I have a pretty good handle on that. Which corporate partnerships are ones to look out for, are ones to pay attention to, which are really the biggest partnerships to look out for, all these different things, the timeline of all this being implemented. Like that's more of my area of expertise. Okay, price action, just who knows, guys? Who knows? Because what are we looking at to determine what's going to happen with the price? I mean, seriously. So if supply can be going, if the 1% of all Bitcoin can be withdrawn from exchanges since we were at all-time high, but somehow the price has dropped by 50%, then I don't know what to tell you. Seriously, I don't know what to tell you. So I think that looking at Bitcoin's, looking at the on-chain chart that I have in my community tab and seeing that almost 1% of all Bitcoin has been withdrawn from exchanges since we were all-time high, but yet we're 50% down. I think that's a more important thing to pay attention to than the graph that shows the price that, when compared to what's happening on chain, when compared to the actual supply, indicates that there's probably some price manipulation going on through the derivatives market. And I've explained how that could potentially be happening. Okay, I've talked way too long. that's it. Yeah, guys, it's too risky for retail, but the whales have been in accumulation mode over the last 3 to 4 weeks. I mean, just beware of people who aren't telling you what this is. Seriously. You know, I mean, guys, like, I'll give you my cell phone number. Like, you know, I don't know what else to tell you guys. I try to be as open, as transparent as I possibly can be. I'm not always going to be right about everything. I've been wrong about numerous different things. But about the big things, about the fact that this is the new internet and financial system and they're going to start implementing it right now, I was spot on about that. And there weren't really, anybody wasn't saying that last year at this time. Not that I remember. If there were, it's a very small, we're talking less than 2% or less of content creators would have been saying something like that at this point last year. Most of the other ones were pushing the same FUD that they're pushing right now. And what makes it FUD, and then I'm going to be done, what makes it FUD is not the things could go down, things could get worse, right? Because that's reality, okay? That's always going to be reality. What makes it FUD is that they focus on any opportunity where there's some negative price action, where we're going down, so on and so forth, but yet they omit the most important information. They don't tell you. They cover the space for a living. The space is crypto. Crypto is the tokenized stock of the tech companies that are going to work together, fully integrated, working synchronistically to form the new internet and financial system. So these are the tokenized stocks of those companies. It's being integrated right now into all the existing technologies by all major banks, corporations, and governments. So if you're covering cryptocurrency for a living and this is your job, but yet your viewers don't know this is the new internet and financial system and that it's being implemented right now by all major banks, corporations, and governments, then you're not doing your job. That's not a minor detail. Even if you're just looking at charts, that's not a minor detail, because this goes back to the point that I made. You could look at an Ethereum graph and you could look at some zombie company in the S&P 500 and they could have the exact same graph. So they would have the exact same technical analysis. They would have the exact same conclusion about the technical analysis, which completely omits all of the most important things about that particular investment. Does it give you an indication of what might happen in the next 30 days, the price? Yes, but that's it. And even then, it's really 60%, likelihood at best, 60 to 70% likelihood at best. So that's all I have for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Guys, I don't want like yes people around me. If you have like legitimate areas of pushback or disagreement, let me know. But like make a case. Don't just like drop some like sideways like insult. Like make a coherent argument against like a position that I'm taking. I'm more than happy to have the conversation with you. Seriously. Okay? That's all I have for this video. Thank you everyone who has liked, shared, and subscribed. Take care. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next video.